It's time. It is it's shit. Get out of there. Why was that channel active? I don't get it. Okay. Anyways, it's live stream time. It is Mario Kart time. It might even be politics time. Let's see here. Launch game. Very nice. I think I'm not gonna post about my stream on Twitter or Mastodon anymore. I think I'm just gonna do it on Discord and hope that it has a you know, hope that I can grow within Twitch. You know. Let's see here. This is supposed to be mostly a chill live stream, but obviously things don't stop just because I would like to slow down, you know. The pro-Palestine protests are still happening. The crackdowns are still happening. Those are even more severe than the last time I talked about them. I might touch on that briefly. I don't think I'm going to make that into another segment, though. Because, like I said, I have said what all I wanted to say about the protests and such in the one video. I guess actually what I can do, real quick, I want to shout out VCCTV2 for the follow. I believe I know who that is, even outside of them having followed me. So thank you, I appreciate it. Always good to have new eyes on the stream. And hey, it looks like we've got some familiar faces. I recognize Maverick, I recognize Rogue. That's about it. So, there's only a couple things that I really wanted to touch on. One of them being the Fourth Circuit Court. Let me actually go to Erin Reed, her page. Let's see, Fourth Circuit Court. Yeah. Erin in the Morning. Very cool newsletter. If you guys actually, if there's ever a moment where you feel like, man, I wish I had like a good entry point into the discussion about trans rights or whatever, if you're ever looking for stuff like that, I would actually highly recommend just to follow Erin Reed's newsletter. She's a trans journalist in the United States, and she covers trans issues. And it is very easily readable, I think, compared to most, compared to a lot of political issues and stuff like that. It's one of the rare, well, not rare, but it's one of those things where the policy solutions are pretty straightforward, aligning pretty closely with the ethical positions on the matter, where, like, you know, oh, you know, sometimes you can talk about how X, Y, or Z issue gets complicated when you're trying to put it into practice, but with trans rights, it's really just an issue of not having the state discriminate against people. And, you know, Erin Reed has been very good about covering the latest and greatest of trans and anti-trans activism that has been going on in the United States. So, friend of the channel. She doesn't know me, but I know her, and she's great. This news article from the newsletter reads, "The Fourth Circuit. Gender identity is a protected characteristic. Blocks state coverage bans." In a landmark ruling, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, this is a federal court in the United States, has ruled that gender identity is a protected characteristic and that Medicaid, which is one of the few governmental medical services that we do have in the United States, cannot ban treatments for gender dysphoria. So there's been this debate kind of broiling up, and I say debate just in the policy making sense, not in the sense of like this is an actual unsolved political issue. Red states and blue states, that is to say conservative states and not conservative states, had been butting heads over protections for and treatment of transgender individuals, where a lot of conservative states were banning transgender care for youth, and there had been some more liberal states that were providing protections to that effect. Rare MKW, welcome to the stream, and thank you very much for the follow. Or welcome back, I should say. I think I recognized your name in the chat. But yeah, now a federal court has chimed in on the matter, similar to actually a federal judge from Arkansas a while back, another thing I did a video segment on, saying that, no, actually, you can't, as the state, ban an entire category of medicine along this protected categoristic line. Trans people need medical care, same as everybody else, so you can't just ban that. Oh, no. You gonna join? Yeah, go for it. Oh, no. I've been bombed. What's your Mii mock bike texture? I like it. This is actually the protagonist from Pokemon Gold and Silver. My Mii is dressed up like Pokemon Trainer Gold from the Johto games. I have a number of custom textures. You'll notice also that you made it. No, I found it online. I just found a bunch of cool textures that I liked, and I figured out how to install custom textures and just sort of went hog wild with it. You'll notice that the Funky Kongs in front of me all have the trans colors on their tank tops. That's another thing that I like. I'm really falling behind here. Can you send me the file or texture, or like where you got it from, please? Yeah, I can go and find that. It might take me a little bit, but that's something I could definitely look for sure. Oh no, I got last. But first, I would like to finish up reading this news article about the federal court ruling that it's actually unconstitutional to ban gender-affirming care. The Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled on Monday that transgender people are a protected class and that Medicaid bans on transgender care are unconstitutional. Furthermore, the court ruled that discriminating based on a diagnosis of gender dysphoria is discrimination based on gender identity or sex. Should I send you my Discord? Yeah, sure, go for it. The ruling is in response to lower court challenges against state laws and policies in North Carolina and West Virginia that prevent transgender people on state plans for Medicaid from obtaining coverage for gender-affirming care. All right, cool. Those lower courts found such exclusions unconstitutional. In issuing the final ruling, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals declared that transgender exclusions were, quote, obviously discriminatory and were, quote, in violation of the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution, upholding lower court rulings that barred the discriminatory exclusions. They use similar arguments to say, as certain laws based on, I think, religious discrimination, that like if you were to ban a yarmulke, if you were to ban the wearing of a yarmulke, that would apply to everybody, but it would be targeted against Jewish people because Jewish people are the only ones that really wear that. So it's like the argument that conservatives frequently use to justify a ban on all gender affirming care is that, oh, you see, this isn't discriminatory because cis people can't get this gender affirming care either. But what the devil's in the details there, because the only people that would need that gender affirming care are trans people, not cis people. So it's like it's designed to hurt trans people with just enough plausible deniability to maybe escape legal scrutiny in some cases. In the much more conservative states that are already predisposed to be more transphobic in their policymaking, this might fly there. But the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals has decided, no, you can't do that. This is like the arguments for banning gay marriage. In fact, a lot of conservative political groups use similar arguments that, like, oh, it's not discriminatory to ban same-sex marriage because same-sex marriage would be banned for straight people too, which you can pretty immediately see the reason why that's quite silly. But we actually, for the purpose of this ruling, in the states where this court has their jurisdiction, we don't need to worry about that as much, at least for a little while, because they've decided that, like, you can't do that. You know, these bans are unconstitutional. And that leads actually to something that I want to say about the nature of the U.S. court system and how this is going to reverberate in the future. I mentioned in the other segment that I did a while back that there are a number of federal courts, some of them more conservative and some of them not, and that the more conservative courts would be kind of embroiled in a battle against these less conservative courts over jurisprudence like this. You know, there's going to be kind of like a conservative states versus not conservative states divide on this, where the not conservative states will have pretty sound policymaking along medical recommendation lines, and the conservative areas are going to have like much more restrictive bans on gender affirming care. This is another step in that, but I believe that this actually elevates the scope of the issue and tips the balance in favor of, well, people who support trans rights, because it's like it's now, I believe, the second federal court that has chimed in to give some support on this issue. Now what I believe is going to happen is probably this issue is going to go up to the Supreme Court. And even as conservative as the Supreme Court is right now, I honestly can't see them saying that these bans are like mandatory or whatever. I wouldn't think that the Supreme Court would go so far as to say, actually, we think these bans should be applied all across the country. But they might say that these bans are constitutional. Which would sort of make the issue a lot more difficult to pursue. Although it's also possible that the Supreme Court rules that, no, actually, you can't ban this kind of medical care because this goes against all of the recommendations made by all the health professionals in the field. I'm going to leave the worldwide just for a moment so I can find those custom skins. Let's see, where did I have these? Okay, wait, custom music. No. Disney stuff. Let's see here. CGGP private, maybe? No. That's not the right one either. CGGP. Fonts. No. Revolution. No, that's for... That seems like mostly Project M stuff. Where is... folder that I put all that stuff in? That's custom music. Let me see. Me custom texture. Okay, wait. Character texture. Ah, yes. Custom Mario Kart is probably where I got a lot of these. Uh, Gold? Let's see. Gold? No. Nope. Ethan? No. That's not a thing either. Maybe a game banana? Perhaps? You know what I could do as well is look in the SD card of my Wii U, which will require me actually to exit out of the game real quick, so maybe I'll do that. Easiest way for me to find these textures is to just do this. Now, on most PCs, you actually don't get SD card ports anymore, which is kind of unfortunate, but to that effect, I actually do have, well, it's somewhere around here. I don't know where it has gone off to. There's a USB adapter that can take an SD card and adapt the connection to a USB standard connection. Okay. Better. See that? Little SD card thing in the side here. Nice. USB drive G. Let it stop. Okay. Let's go to this PC. USB drive G. Yes. Okay, here we go. I believe this would be in the My Stuff folder, maybe? Let's see here. CTGP. Ah, it's in the My Stuff folder inside the CTGP folder. Perfect, perfect. Okay. LA Me M. So I am going to, I don't remember all of the textures and what they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of the files that have the word me in them. And I'll send them to you over Discord. Here, pending. MKW. Cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, of course. I don't remember. Oh, let's see. Let me actually, if I search me. Working on it. All right, I'm going to open up some of these in Brawlbox. Yep. Okay, that's one of them. The BRRES files. Yep, that sure seems like one of them too. Let's see the SZS files. Like, Yeah, okay. I'm gonna highlight all of these, and I will send them to a zipped folder. Here, hold on. Let me create new folder here. Me textures. Yes. Open this on up. Bring all that in here. And then I am going to compress this folder if I can. Right? Is that a thing I can do? I'm pretty sure that's a thing I do. Yeah, compress zipped folder. Nice. Me textures.zip. 8,252 kilobytes. That sounds great. Uh, yeah. Hello. All right. Okay. So I've sent you all the me textures that I'm using in that zipped folder. All you have to do is take those textures in the zip folder and put them in the my stuff folder in CTGP. You know how in the CTGP Revolution channel there is a little toggle to enable the My Stuff folder. All you have to do is put those textures in the My Stuff folder on your SD card, go and enable My Stuff, and then when you launch CTGP, you'll have the nice, fun me textures that make you look like the Pokemon trainer from Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. There you go. And if there's really enough demand, what I might also do is just take all the custom textures that I use and upload them to a Google Drive and link it on stream so that people can download them and put them into my stuff folder for themselves and experience the full texture pack. But, you know, that's another story for another time. Plug that back in. Had a Mayflash adapter plugged in. My PC originally, there we go. I like to play Melee as well. Yes. Let's get back to the Mario Kart. You know, I've been watching TWD98 videos of Flounderfest, him and Enmead doing their thing, which is quite an enjoyable sight, I must say. Both of them are very good at Mario Kart, provide very entertaining footage of them driving on these vehicles and these vehicle clan wars. And that actually started making me think about the possibility of playing custom tracks online in a format that isn't strictly CTGP, or made me wonder the possibility of CTGP incorporating the Inside Drift mod into the pack, because I love the way Inside Drift feels in Mario Kart Wii, and I really wish that it was applicable to more vehicles than just the select few that it is. Because if that were the case, then I would be using way more bikes than I am that I'm comfortable with using right now. Usually, I just kind of default to the mock bike. Um, but you know, I've tried the Inside Drift mod before, just in a single player setting, and I really like the heavy standard bike. You know, I'm a standard bike enjoyer, but only really when it has inside drift. The outside drift just feels so awkward. Um, so I don't know if there are any distributions that use Weemfi online that could that I could play and have the inside drift mod active. That's like an integrated part of it. Or if that's in the cards for CTGP in the future, I would love for that to be the case. Um, You know, because I think CTGP is the most well-known custom track distribution, at least to my best recollection. It's possible something has changed and that, you know, there's a more uh, popular distribution than this, even though that's like, this is kind of the legacy distribution. It's got all the custom tracks. Or it's got not all the custom tracks, but it's got like more than 200. But yeah, you know, I would love to just go a few rounds on the standard bike medium, standard bike L, uh, and all those. It seems like nobody's online really. Let's try this again. Let's try to find a room. Ah, well, there's somebody. If it's just a 1v1, I'll take that. Oh no, wait. Come back. I didn't mean to hit the B button. Yes, match us together, please. Connecting right now. Oh, okay, I got you, I got you. Maverick. Nice. I think also, I think when you see the like, well, not when you see, what you want to join, I think, the online when somebody's in a race currently. So once this race gets started, I think is when you'll want to try to join the room. That's how you can get into the same room that we're in, if that's what you're aiming for. Skyguard. This track is fun. I really like the current version of this track, because specifically because of what it does to the trick ramps. Um, there was a previous version of this track that was a lot more faithful to the original Sky Garden in the GBA version and the DS port as well. But this one, you see, it takes the what was originally just a small little jump ramp, and it turns it into one of these single flip trick ramps, which I really appreciate because it keeps the pace of the race going. Um, you know, it always feels like whenever you get one of those slow, like, yellow ramps that you would have to low trick to get some sort of appreciable gain off of, it makes it feel like the game's really slowing down. And that's not something I'm usually that much of a fan of. You know, like Bowser's Castle 3, some of the SNES Bowser Castles, it's a little bit awkward to handle. But this one actually feels really good. The pacing here feels very good. I'll throw that, that's fine. Ah, what has he done? Oh, he tried to... It looks like he tried to go for some crazy shit, dude. Wow. He went for it all. I respect it. Um, and also, so there's two very small things that make this track a lot more enjoyable. The ramps, like I said, and the adding of texture to the road. You'll notice that the road has a very slight sort of pipe curve effect, where it's like the middle of the road is slightly lower than the edges. You know, it's a little bit curved. you get that texture, and then the off-road also feels textured. You can see it's physically raised above the normal road, and it actually does kind of feel like clouds a little bit. You know, it's like a mixture between dirt and clouds. You feel like you're actually in this garden in the sky. You know, the road is like the tile in the garden. You have the beanstalks, you got the clouds, and it feels nice and textured. The ramps keep up the speed. You know, you never feel like you're getting slowed down by the intended route of the track. Very good track, very good port. I actually, it used to be the case when most of the GBA tracks were like the Chaos Shadow 23 ports, who, by the way, ton of respect for, amazing ports, super high quality. I didn't like them as much just because they were so faithful to the GBA originals, and you know, they were incredibly well modeled and all that, but there were some flaws in the inherent design of the GBA tracks that prevented me from enjoying them very much. But when you started getting these newer, what looked to me like ZPL ports, you know, the Sky Garden one, the GBA Boo Lake port, which I've gone on record saying might be actually my favorite custom track in the whole pack. When you start getting ports like that take a few creative liberties, but generally make the track very clearly a port of the GBA version, and, you know, feels faithful, but also like it's been updated to accommodate Mario Kart Wii mechanics, I think that's when the tracks really have an opportunity to shine, and provide like some of the best racing experience in the whole game. Because the two things that I mentioned about the Sky Garden that made it really good, that textured feeling, and the fact that it had those much faster ramps to make the races feel active, are also present in the GBA Boo Lake port. You know, the track has much more elevation changes. There's a lot more scenery in the track, and there are more trick ramps, and they're not, you know, none of the trick ramps are the really slow trick boost ramps. There are a few boost panels. There are some alternate routes. It's much more of an overhaul, but I think there are some critical ways in which it plays it safe that really play to its benefit, because it's still recognizable as Boo Lake. You get the nostalgia of the track for all the people who played the GBA version when that was like the Mario Kart of the day, and you get the fun experience that you're racing something genuinely new in Mario Kart that you would want to get from a custom track in this distribution pack. So massive props to the people who made those ports, and of course massive props to Chaos Shadow 23. As much as I spoke a little bit critically of his ports, props to him for setting the bar so high that he basically was able to create flawless ports of the tracks that looked like they could have been Nintendo's ports. You know, Bowser's Castle 2 and 4, the GBA versions by Chaos Shadow 23, were basically indistinguishable from what the team at Nintendo would have probably decided to take the tracks in a certain direction if they had ported them themselves. You know? It's a remarkable interpretation of the same. There's a remarkable like breadth of interpretation of like the same source material. Even something as small as a single racetrack from a single racing game. And I really like it. Nice breath of fresh air from custom tracks that I would otherwise usually be heavily critical of. You know, you guys know my thoughts on tracks like the Rabbit Hole, tracks like Mushroom Peaks, sort of, or rather the tracks that try to have the Kaizo difficulty of Mushroom Peaks without really having the historical context behind it that Peaks does. I think Mushroom Peaks, by all objective metrics, if there are objective criteria for what makes a good track and what makes a bad track, Mushroom Peaks is a bad track. You know, it's very player hostile. But the one thing that endears it to me, that makes me think it actually should continue to be in CTGP, even if it's just as like a secret track, is the historical context behind it. Mushroom Peaks was one of the first custom tracks ever to be made, and I think it's really stood the test of time as a cultural signifier of custom tracks. You know, it's very memorable. It is genuinely like, what if we took Mushroom Gorge and we made it a really difficult track? What if we basically made Kaizo Mushroom Gorge, right? And it was probably the most ambitious custom track of its time. It was the most ambitious project that had ever been done in the year 2009. This was only a year after the release of Mario Kart Wii. And considering that it's a track from 2009, it's not bad. You know, there are way worse tracks from the year 2009. But that's the key thing about Mushroom Peaks, is that it has that legacy behind it. It has the, like, it was one of the first Wild West forays into the creation of custom tracks. It was like a new, it was genuinely, it was a new thing, and it was a very ambitious new thing. And it wasn't the kind of difficult that a lot of the tracks nowadays would be. Mushroom Peaks, not a very competitive Mario Kart oriented track. You know, a lot of competitive players probably don't look to Mushroom Peaks that much as a track that they want to pick during the clan war or something like that. Whereas a lot of the custom tracks that are difficult and that I do have a problem with are specifically oriented towards the competitive scene. Where Mushroom Peaks is difficult for everybody, there are certain competitive tracks that are only designed to really be like difficult for newcomers. You know, the rabbit hole is an example of that. You know, it's kind of hard to get your bearings on the rabbit hole in a way that would like enable you to not just instantly get blown up by people who know what they're doing. Whereas on Mushroom Peaks, there could be people who know what they're doing in terms of you know, the theory of racing a custom track, but you know, in Peaks everybody's struggling. You know what I mean? So basically, this is a justification for why I do hate tracks like the Rabbit Hole, but I don't hate tracks like Mushroom Peaks. You know, Mushroom Peaks is fair in how unfair it is. It is unfair for everybody equally. I know how to drive Mushroom Peaks, and even still, I've you know, failed quite a bit. Whereas the Rabbit Hole is a different kind of unfair that I think drives people away from wanting to play the distribution pack in some sense. I mean, or rather, I shouldn't speak for everybody on this, but it's you know, in a distribution pack that is very public facing as far as Mario Kart Wii modding goes, you don't want tracks like the Rabbit Hole, because it's like it's not good for new players. And even if there are difficult tracks and long custom tracks, because we love our long, difficult custom tracks, you want them to be basically fine for new players. You know? In fact, Desert Castle Raceway is actually a good example of what I'm talking about there. Desert Castle Raceway, with a couple of exceptions maybe, there are maybe a couple parts on the track, it's pretty clear where to go on this track. It's not all that complicated of a track, but it's long, it's not all that easy. But a new player could have this track picked, and then, oh look, there's an arrow, the road's nice and wide, there's not very much danger of me getting so confused as to why people are taking that many alternate routes, because there aren't really any shroomless shortcuts here. It's like the route is pretty much the same whether you know what you're doing or not. And I think that's one of the strengths that it shares with Mushroom Peaks. Mushroom Peaks, the route is the same whether you're a veteran or a new player. But with tracks like the Rabbit Hole, the route changes significantly depending on whether you are experienced or not. That's the kind of difficulty curve that I don't have. I don't have that many positive feelings toward in the world of custom tracks. See, on my left here, we're going to approach a shortcut that might not be immediately obvious, but you can see that's an off-road shortcut. You have to have a mushroom in order to do it. So that gets a pass from me. And I believe... Oh, actually, there might be one part of this track that is, you know, a little bit of a learning curve for new players. Yeah, this right here. That could possibly get some people. Oh no, my red shell hit the pokey. And now I'm in first with no item, which is a dangerous spot to be in. Oh, I got him. Aha. And then you don't trick here. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm dumb, is what I am. Ah, second place. Okay. Yeah, I made some crucial mistakes. I made two, or I guess just one crucial mistake at the end. And that caused me to get second. You know, it's actually coming up on 2 years since, well, since a couple of things. It's coming up on 2 years, first since I graduated from college, and that means also pretty much 2 years since I started streaming consistently, or at least semi-consistently. So that's going to be cool. And because it's approaching summertime, that also means that there's a certain Super Smash Bros. Tournament coming up that's relatively close to where I live. So I might actually, in the near to intermediate future, I might stream a little bit of Super Smash Bros. To practice for that. Ah, that might be fun. It might be Melee season soon. It might be. Musical Cliff. Oh, I really like this track. Musical Cliff is a fun track. Oh no, got wheelie bumped. It's okay. I'll get a good item. That is a good item. Ooh. Nice. So far, so good. Oh no, I didn't get a item box. I guess that's kind of unavoidable. But, you know. No, I missed the mini turbo. Okay. Don't hit me. God damn it. Smart bounce. Smart bounce moment. That's fine. I'm on the boost panel. All well and good. Meat box, thank you. Got him. Hee. Oh, he had a red shell too. Okay. I'm gonna just use this here. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. I have red shell protection. I do not have blue shell protection, though. That was a pretty smart POW. People are going to gain time on me on the ramp there, but might not be enough. Or maybe it will be. Okay, I got third. Pretty good, I think. Room's filling up. That's nice. Real nice. You love to see it. Uh-oh. What's going on with the capture card? Nothing. Okay, we're good. We're good. Sometimes my capture card has been known to desync from the rest of the audio. Like, my voice will be playing on time as I'm speaking, like you'll be able to see in the webcam, but then the capture card audio, for whatever reason, will lag very far behind the video. I've had this happen a couple of times, so I kind of have to keep my eye on that in OBS. Random. I'm actually going to write down as a segment idea here, May 3rd stream. Custom track talk. GBA ports and Sky Garden. I haven't made a gaming or media related segment in quite a while. So that might be that talk about like why I like the Sky Garden port so much and why I like this sort of new style of GBA port tracks so much. That might make for a good segment, so maybe I'll do that. I know that my media segments don't tend to get that much attention, but I really like talking about this stuff, and I feel very strongly about it. Or I feel maybe not strongly in the same way that I feel strongly about politics, but I enjoy media a lot, and I feel like I want to share some of the things I enjoy about you know, about that media. In this case being the Mario Kart Wii custom track racing experience. Oh, poor bastard, he had a Mega Mushroom. I was just gonna say, don't get murked, but then I got murked. And I got murked again! What is going on, dude? Alright, give me this. Ooh, a shock. I hope I got first, like, right before the cannon, and not during the cannon. I believe I did. It looks like I did, at least. In retrospect, not the greatest shock. I probably should have waited till people were done with the cannon to do that. I don't know if that guy was slowing down on purpose or whatever, but... Okay. Oh, I know where I want to use this golden mushroom. And that is right here. Haha. Well, at least I got some usage out of it. Okay. Now I need an item here. What I need. And I'm gonna get it. Nice. Okay. That wasn't the optimal usage, I guess, but I think usually it's best to just spam the Mega if you have it while you're small. So I believe what you're supposed to do is just go to the side here. Yeah. Nice. No, I got red shelled at the line. Rip. That's what happens when you get a blue shell. You don't have protection from other stuff. So, there's one other political subject that I wanted to talk about this time. At least that doesn't relate to the protests that are currently ongoing on university campuses across America. And that is Russia. Russia. Many such cases. There are a couple people who frequent my chat who love talking about Russia because that pertains to European politics and they're European, so shoutouts to them. As are a lot of people in these Mario Kart rooms, as it so happens. But there had been some points in the past where I sort of hit a snag when I talked about Russia because there were some things that I had a hard time putting words to. It was sort of like there was a gap in my understanding. But recently, I feel like I've been able to plug that gap at least a little bit with some like material political analysis that I would like to share. So, people talk about Russia. They frequently talk about oligarchy. They talk about Putin and whatever. And it's critical to know that oligarchy, the system that Russia has, to a certain degree, is the system that every country has as a product of capitalism. You know, it's not unique to Russia. They just have a particularly severe form of it because Russia doesn't have a very well-developed civil society. There's not much that exists outside of that control. You know, or there's not much of a society that exists independent of those oligarchs. You know. But there's like a eternal question. It seems with Russia in particular that Russia has been embroiled in autocracy for basically its whole historical lifespan as a country. You know, there's nary been a time when Russia wasn't an autocracy of some sort. The only very brief period was during the Russian Revolution, during, you know, maybe the provisional government, with various disparate autonomous political groups, some of them liberal, some of them statist, monarchist, anarchist, communist, like a veritable smorgasbord of ideological leanings vying for power in a very fractured political system. And you know, there were some ways in which that heralded some pretty hopeful political change. But as we know, that's not precisely what happened. You know, the Soviet Union ended up being basically just another Russian empire in a lot of ways. There are some ways in which you could defend the Soviet Union. In fact, I would on matters of housing policy specifically. But for the most part, you know, Russia hasn't really known democracy in their country. Russians haven't. And it's very regrettable. And it also has significant political implications because in order for pro-democratic movements to take root, there has to be a pro-democratic sentiment. You know, there has to be that sort of want in the first place. And Russia hasn't really had that, at least not a lot of it. You know? There's a certain degree of progressivism that's necessary for pro-democratic movements to happen, and Russia hasn't really had that. Um, every country, I believe, progresses along a certain materialistic track of history, and eventually will progress into a democratic and or socialist system. Eventually it's going to happen. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but things gradually get better with history. That is the tendency anyways. There are periods of regress, there are periods of progress, but usually things end up better than they used to be. With Russia, I think that path is going to be a lot longer. Like I said, because there's not a very storied progressive undercurrent in Russia. They're not good on gay rights, on economic progressivism as well. Even under the Soviet Union, there was really no worker ownership of stuff, and the economic like work schedules and the economy was managed in a very draconian way, very hierarchical. Um, and there's not much of a civil society. It's like the state and the strongmen running it are mostly what's holding Russia together, rather than the sort of civil society at the local and regional level. To juxtapose this, think of a country like Peru. Peru undergoes constant turmoil to such an extent that it's a meme, but they are still a wealthy country and there's still a Peru to speak of, even in periods of massive governmental turmoil, because they have a civil society. There is still a Peru, even when you don't have the Peruvian government, and when you like have a very unstable situation in the Peruvian government. With Russia, I genuinely don't think that's the case. I don't think there's really any unified Russia. There's not really much of a unified Russian identity without the Russian government there to violently enforce it. You know, it's like I said, not much in the way of civil institutions, and that's a major problem that needs to be overcome. And how you do that effectively is by investing in a certain country to try to build that up. Um, you know, um, so basically, I think that whatever happens, if there's a way out of the shit show that Russia's experiencing, it is through normalized relationships with the West, with its neighbors, and all of that. Um, and I honestly think that Russia's war in Ukraine is as much a detriment to Russia as it is to Ukraine and to the rest of Europe. Because Russia is kind of setting themselves back insofar as their ability to seek positive relationships and to uh like I don't know, work their way out of the turmoil they've been in since the 20th century. No, it's a very similar problem that I see in that you would see with North Korea. North Korea, very very authoritarian state. I don't think anybody would dispute that. They definitely don't have very much of a civil society to speak of there. Um, and what's going on? The reason it has stayed like that for so long is because of the lack of connection that they have to the world around them. You know, there's not really a North Korean civil society without a North Korean state holding it together. You couldn't have a situation like Peru where there's a lot of government turmoil and the country is still the country. I'm gonna use this here. But with North Korea, there's the added step that they've been really locked out of the world economy and of the geopolitical scene, so they would have to be sort of let in there first. They'd have to, the world would have to open up to normalizing relationships with them. But yeah, it's kind of sad because it's very hard to accept that for now Russia's just kind of fucked. But I think that's genuinely like that's what's up. There's not much we can do about that. It's one of those things, right, where stability is like the gateway to there's a certain degree of stability, a certain kind of stability that is the gateway to progressive social change, progressive economic change, worker ownership, equal rights for minorities, and things like that. Um, that just has never really been met in Russia. You know, you think about the circumstances immediately preceding the Russian Revolution, which was based and justified. And those circumstances were of incredibly unstable and rapidly changing circumstances. Russia trying to modernize straight from a feudal system to an industrial system, you know, without any of the in-between steps that a lot of other countries had already taken. No, I'm dead. I didn't realize I went too inside there. No, fucking did it again? Dang. Alright. I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna chain it. Yeah. Ooh, shock. Probably gonna chain it. Yeah. What's up, people? Not paying super close attention, and it might come back to bite me. In some ways, it already has. All right, 6th place, not terrible. Top 2's way up there. I'm gonna use this here. Ow! What? Landed right on me. Okay, the shock kind of canceled that out, which helps. Give me that. Thank you. Okay. Almost got bumped off by that guy. No, I got target shocked right at the end. Oh, no. Okay. Got the respawn. 5th place. Okay. Better than I expected, considering how many blunders I made the first lap. Alright, alright. Let's keep it on. Let's keep it on. Yeah, anyways. That's the one thing I wanted to talk about, really, is you know, I had some thoughts about Russia, because it's a frequent subject of discussion whenever there are people in my chat that, you know, are frequent chatters. So I feel like that's a good take to give on it, that, like, every country has that path to democracy, has that path to socialism, but with Russia, it's going to be longer than most, because Russia is starting at a very disadvantaged position. There just aren't really the factors there that would enable that path to properly get started. You know, in order for in order for a country to, well, achieve democracy and socialism, people have to want it. It has to be built through popular power. You can't, you know, the reason that managed democracy is a meme is because fundamentally it's impossible. You know, how the US tried to do projects of nation building in Iraq and Afghanistan that kind of fell apart once we left. The reason they didn't work is because they were top down, imposed, supposedly democratic regimes. You know, that's not how that works. And in Russia, there's a similar problem where people like democracy and socialism aren't really on the brain in Russia. There has to be other things addressed first. And, you know, so it's mostly just a waiting game for everybody outside of Russia. Inside of Russia, you know, people just do what they got to do. They make a living just like everybody else. Although, obviously, having a fascist government is not doing them any favors. No, I almost made it. That shortcut's kind of goofy. Whoa, what happened to everybody here? They fall off or something? God damn. Alright. Low trick. Nice. Oh, I red shelled them off. Wow. Brutal. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, I made it that time. People not know about that shortcut? Dang. Okay, aim. Fire! Come on! Yes! Got it. I think that's the first time I've gotten that. That's really hard. I think I got this in the bag. Unless there's a blue shell. Yeah! Nice! I raced incredibly that race. That, by the way, that's an example of one of the flaws in a lot of the longer, more difficult custom tracks. Is that there are a couple of shortcuts there that I knew that you can do shroomless that gained me the race. I wouldn't have won if I didn't do those shortcuts. You know? I'm almost positive that one of them isn't really even intended. Oh, only 5 people? Okay. I posted the thing on Discord, right? You're wasting your time. Oh, Rare MKW, you didn't waste my time. This is my time. It's my decision how I spend it, and I decided to spend it by finding the texture that you asked for. Ah, something about dragons? I don't know. I don't really remember. No. No! Lame. I thought I could make it, but I guess not. Okay, 3 mushrooms. That's pretty good, I think. Let's use them right here so I can get a box. Yeah. Okay. That made me just a smidge closer than I would have been otherwise. Gold mushroom, that's pretty good. I'm gonna use it around this corner here. Yeah. Oh wow, everybody's pretty much right here. That's way faster, by the way, if you do that. Come on. What? It hit me there? No way. Dude. That's so wacky. Wow, that's really not... that shortcut's really not open for a very long time. Alright, give me an item. Thank you. Ah. I failed to get the shotgun snipe. Oh well. +4 for third out of 5 people. You'll have to see it. Yay, more people. Alright. Let's go to latest on this other tab. I don't know why I bother. Twitter's such a crock of shit nowadays. Yeah, whatever. Oh, Castle of Time. The new version. Ah. I didn't get an item. Oh no. Oh, there's only 6? I guess somebody disconnected. I know where to use this. Be right here. Cool. Ah. Don't mind if I do. Three mushrooms. Okay. Oh, wow. I actually made that. Genuinely surprised. I'm gonna actually save this mushroom for the upcoming shortcut. There's a shortcut up here that I want to do. Don't know how much that really gained me. I think you need 2 mushrooms at least to do that. But, you know. Definitely better than not doing it at all, I think. Because at least now I have that intel. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. Oh, what? Oh, okay. I need an item, whatever happens. Oh, ah! Knew I shouldn't have gone for it, but I did it anyway because I'm content pilled. Ah, whatever. Really? Dude. Alright. Okay. 7 players? Not bad. Or 6. Okay. Ooh, Lakeside Park. One of the tracks I struggle with. GBA tracks are mixed bag for me. I've explained this, but Lakeside and Riverside Park, I think, are the two that really get me. Because they have similar sounding names, I kind of forget which is which sometimes. Okay, I know which one this is. It's the one where there's that big shroomless shortcut at the very end of the track that you lose if you don't do. Basically. Ow. What's up, Callum? Okay. Got a box? Okay. What's wrong with you? Why are you going so wide there? Jesus. Yeah, okay. Somebody's gonna pass me here, but that's okay. Alright. Alright, that works. And I don't have red shell protection still. Saving this for a blue shell, I gotta remember. Smart pal. Well, we both got past. That was pretty good. I raced that okay, all things considered. I did the shortcut 3 for 3. And the mock bike really excels on that track because of the one turn. You gain a lot of time on the flame runners just by virtue of the turns being tighter and you being able to squeeze out just a tad more mini turbo boost. The flame runner has a very slightly shorter mini turbo boost than the mock bike, and it also can't take the turns as tight. And that's ultimately why I won out over most of the other racers. I think I'm actually going to cut the stream early at an hour and a half today. This has been a good session, but there wasn't that much for me to talk about that I hadn't already talked about. I was kind of tired from yesterday, because yesterday was pretty busy. I had some trouble with the YouTube upload that I managed to get done this morning, but was supposed to be done yesterday. And there's also other stuff that I have to do today, or that I would like to do today. I don't have to, would like to. It's for content, so. Ah, people don't know about this shortcut. Probably. Well, probably most of them do. Nice. Oh, I didn't get him. Oh, okay. I'm doing an outdated version of this shortcut, huh? How are they doing it? You just, like, hold your drift or something? Huh. Get that bomb out of there. Ah. Mushroom. I like that. No, that's not how you do that? Ah! Okay. And that's one of those sucky slow ramps. Okay. Alright, alright. If I can get a box, then maybe. Maybe? Okay. Oh, baby. That's good. That's really good. Are you kidding me? The smallest gap? Oh my god, dude. Well. Dang. Man. Kind of a rip at the end there. This will probably be the last race. Last one. I'll call it right now. Last one. This has been a good session, despite me getting smacked around like a dumbass. In some ways, that is. You know what? For my objective for this last race, let's make it a good one. Let's make sure I'm driving well. Please, for the love of fuck, do not pick Dreamworld Cloudway. I would even prefer Melting Magma Melee to that track. Even though I think both of those should be removed from the pack. Okay, well, it picked Melting Magma Melee. Let's do it. Kaizo track abound. Hopefully I don't get fucked up. Even though I know I probably will. Alright. That. Yes. Okay. So far, so good. I'm saving this mushroom. Okay, that works. That works. We're good. We're good. What is blood waffling? Wait, that worked? What did he do? I don't even know what that guy did. This is a goofy ass track. Ah, dang it. Okay. Here we go, going into lap 2. I didn't get an item. Not great. Hopefully I get a mushroom here. Mega mushroom, that works. Oh, I was gonna say, so long as the shock doesn't happen, I'm in the clear. Okay. Okay, blue shell, sure. Okay, well, I hit him. I legit do not know how you would do that part. First and second are mostly out of the picture for me. I think I'm gonna try to just hold on to third. Unless... Hold on. Maybe it's not so out of the picture. Ah, okay, no, it's pretty out of the picture. Yes! Second! Okay! Whew! I actually managed to scrape a W out of Melting Magma Melee. Wouldn't you know it? Woo! Alright, I think that is enough worldwides for today. Sorry whoever just joined. I'm sorry I decided to cut the stream literally right as you came in, but I didn't have much else to talk about, and I'm satisfied with that performance at the very end. Uh, I'm gonna raid somebody and then sign off so I can do some other stuff today. Thank you very much for tuning in, whoever decided to tune in today. Who else is live? Nobody that I follow. Let's go see who is streaming Mario Kart Wii right now. Okay, there's people doing Clan Wars. I don't care about them. What I do care about is Real Track Worldwides, or Regular Track Worldwides. We are going to raid Roomy789. Mario Kart Wii player after my own heart today. Raid Roomy789. Since I don't think anybody that I follow is live. So have fun watching Mario Kart with this other person who, for all I know, is just streaming some casual Worldwides. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that is.
I should totally be a bathroom.